Welcome to the Scenic Bookcast. Today we are jumping into, well, one of the most powerful books of the 20th century, George Orwell's Animal Farm. We're here to really pull apart its structure, the characters, the power dynamics, and just how precisely a revolution can be turned on its head.
Exactly. And this isn't just a summary. We're looking at the mechanics of it all. It starts at Manor Farm, which is, it's a place defined by neglect. Mr. Jones is drunk. The animals' lives are, and this is a direct quote, miserable, laborious, and short.
And that's the perfect kindling for the fire that gets lit by old Major. He's the one with the vision.
It's so much more than a vision. It's a whole ideology. He's this majestic old bore, and he gathers everyone for a strange dream he had, but it's really a political manifesto.
Right.
He gives them an enemy, a single, simple enemy, man. Man is the only creature that consumes without producing. He makes it clear this is about stolen labor.
And the solution is just as simple. One word: rebellion.
Yeah, and he gives them an anthem to carry it forward, Beasts of England. It's this incredibly hopeful song about a future without whips and spurs. It's really moving.
But then he dies. Just 3 nights later. And the whole project, the whole ideology falls to the pigs.
To the intellectual class, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where you immediately see the cracks forming right in the leadership.
You have Snowball, who's described as a vivacious, inventive,
Yeah.
a real speaker, an idealist, maybe.
And then you have Napoleon. He's this large, fierce-looking Berkshire boar. Quiet. And has a reputation for getting his own way.
And maybe the most important one of all, Squealer.
Ah, Squealer, the propaganda minister. A brilliant talker who, the book says, can turn black into white. He doesn't report reality, he creates it.
So they create this system, animalism, and right away there's opposition. You've got Molly the mare, who only cares about sugar and ribbons.
Which Snowball rightly calls the badge of slavery.
And then there's Moses the raven.
Moses is fascinating. He's preaching about Sugar Candy Mountain, this sort of animal heaven. It's the ultimate opiate of the masses, right? He's telling them not to worry about this life because a better one is waiting.
And the pigs have to fight against that distraction.
But then the revolution, it isn't some grand planned event.
No, it's an accident. Jones gets drunk on Midsummer's Eve, forgets to feed them, and when his men come out with whips, the animals just snap.
They just erupt. It's spontaneous, it's furious, and the humans are gone in minutes.
Their first move is to destroy everything that reminds them of Jones. Boxer, the workhorse, even throws his own straw hat on the fire.
It's a complete purge, and Manor Farm becomes Animal Farm. They write the rules on the barn wall, the 7 commandments, an unalterable law.
With the final, most important one, all animals are equal. But
right before they go out for the first harvest of their new lives, the 5 buckets of milk, they just vanish.
It's the first theft. The revolution isn't even a day old, and the corruption has already begun.
It's such a chilling little detail.
So after that initial victory, you get what the book calls the golden summer. For a while, everything is actually better.
It really is. The harvest is a huge success. They do it 2 days faster than Jones ever did. And it's almost all thanks to Boxer.
Boxer is the heart of the whole thing. This enormous, loyal horse whose personal motto becomes, "I will work harder."
He's the perfect dedicated worker. But while he's doing the work, the pigs, well, they're supervising.
Of course. They're the brain workers.
And that's the split right there. The thinkers versus the workers. Snowball tries to organize everyone with these animal committees.
Which are a total failure.
A total failure. But his reading classes are a bit more successful, though, Boxer never gets past the letter D.
So to make things simpler, Snowball boils all 7 commandments down to one single maxim.
4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
Which is perfect propaganda. It's simple, it's rhythmic, and it completely stops any real thought. The sheep just start bleeding it whenever there's an argument.
Meanwhile, Napoleon's not interested in committees. He's playing a long game. He takes Jessie and Bluebell's 9 newborn puppies away to educate them himself. In secret.
He's building his private army?
Exactly. And at the same time, Squealer is sent out to manage the public relations, to explain why the milk and apples are now reserved only for the pigs.
Because they're brain workers, of course.
It's for their health. But that's not the argument that wins. The argument that wins is the fear. He ends the debate by asking, what would happen if the pigs failed in their duty?
Jones would come back.
Jones would come back. And that's it. Debate's over. They'll give up anything to prevent that.
And that fear gets tested when Jones actually does try to come back. in the Battle of the Cowshed.
Right. And Snowball, who's been reading Julius Caesar's campaign strategies, he leads this brilliant organized defense. It's a huge victory for them.
But all that does is make the tension between him and Napoleon worse.
Much worse. It all comes to a head over the windmill. Snowball has this grand vision of a 3-day work week, electricity, hot and cold water.
And Napoleon's response is to just urinate on the plans.
Yeah.
He argues for a full manger, practicality over dreams.
But Snowball's the better speaker. He's winning the debate. And just as he finishes his speech,
Napoleon lets out this high-pitched whimper.
and in come the 9 puppies, except they're not puppies anymore. They're huge, ferocious dogs wearing brass-studded collars, and they chase Snowball right off the farm.
The coup is over in seconds.
It's that fast. Napoleon immediately cancels the Sunday meetings. Democracy is over. Squealer is sent out to explain that leadership is not a pleasure. It's a deep and heavy responsibility.
A sacrifice Napoleon is making for them all.
And Boxer, the most loyal animal on the farm, he internalizes this. He adopts his second maxim. Napoleon is always right.
And with that, the dictatorship is cemented. That's when the real work, the real slavery, begins.
Yeah, and the first thing Napoleon does is he announces that the windmill is going to be built after all.
The ultimate gaslighting.
Squealer explains it was Napoleon's idea all along. Snowball had stolen the plans. Napoleon only pretended to oppose it as a maneuver, a tactic, to get rid of a dangerous character.
And the animals, with Boxer leading the way, they work like they've never worked before. They're dragging these massive boulders up from the quarry. It's brutal.
And then the rules start to bend. Napoleon announces they'll start trading with the neighboring farms through a solicitor named Mr. Whymper.
The animals feel uneasy. They remember resolutions against trade, against using money.
But Squealer just asks them, "Are you certain that this is not something that you have dreamed?" And since nothing was ever written down, they start to doubt their own memories.
Which makes it so much easier for the next violation. The pigs move into the farmhouse. They start sleeping in beds.
Clover is sure that's against the rules. She has Muriel the goat read the 4th commandment from the wall.
And it says, no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets.
The word sheets has been added. Squealer explains that a bed is just a place to sleep. A pile of straw is a bed. The sheets are the human invention. It's just brilliant, cynical logic.
And of course.
And of course, you wouldn't want Jones to come back, would you?
Then a storm hits, and the half-finished windmill is destroyed.
And Napoleon needs a scapegoat immediately. He screams one word: Snowball. He blames the traitor for everything and pronounces a death sentence.
It's all part of this spiral into terror. Food runs short. The hens are told to give up their eggs. They protest, and Napoleon starves 9 of them to death.
And that leads to the purge, the most terrifying scene in the book.
It's horrifying. Napoleon forces 4 pigs who had questioned him to confess to colluding with Snowball, and the dogs, they just tear their throats out.
Right there in front of everyone. Then the hens who led the egg rebellion, a goose, some sheep, they all come forward, confess to crimes, and are slaughtered.
It's a bloodbath. And Clover stands there, looking at the pile of bodies, thinking, this was not what we aimed at. But what can she do? Work harder, be loyal.
And when the animals remember the 6th commandment, no animal shall kill any other animal, they go back to the wall.
And now it reads, no animal shall kill any other animal without cause.
The truth is, whatever the pigs say it is, day by day.
And from there, the final transformation just accelerates. It's brutal.
Napoleon becomes a complete cult figure. He's our leader, Comrade Napoleon. He has a cockerel who acts as a trumpeter before he speaks. Poems are written in his honor.
He decides to sell a pile of timber, playing 2 neighboring farmers, Pilkington and Frederick, against each other. He finally sells to Frederick.
In Keelut, Frederick pays him with forged banknotes. The money is worthless.
The very next day, Frederick and his men attack the farm with guns.
And they don't just fight, they pack blasting powder around the base of the newly finished windmill.
And blow it to smithereens.
The animals are enraged. They drive the men off, but they're battered and bleeding. The windmill, their work is gone. Squealer, of course, calls it a great victory.
And Boxer, with his split hoof, just says, then we have won back what we had before.
The emptiness of that victory is just devastating. But the final, most personal betrayal is still to come. Boxer collapses. His lung gives out.
Squealer announces with great sympathy that Boxer's being sent to a veterinary hospital in Willingdon for treatment.
A van arrives to take him away. And Benjamin, the cynical old donkey who never read anything, He suddenly starts galloping, panicked. For the first time, he reads what's on the side of the van.
Alfred Simmons, horse slaughterer and glue boiler.
They're sending him to the knacker's yard to be killed and boiled down for glue.
He's being sold.
Squealer later gives this incredibly detailed, tear-jerking account of Boxer's final moments in the hospital, praising Napoleon. He explains the van used to belong to the knacker but was bought by the surgeon, who just hadn't painted over the old name yet.
And the animals believe him.
And a few days later, the pigs somehow acquire the money to buy another case of whiskey.
Years go by. The revolution is a distant memory. And then one day, the animals see a terrifying sight. Squealer is walking on his hind legs.
Then all the other pigs. Then Napoleon himself, upright, carrying a whip in his trotter.
And the sheep, who had been taken away for a week, begin to bleat a new slogan over and over.
4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Clover and Benjamin go to the end of the barn. All the commandments are gone. In their place is a single, final law.
All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
The cycle is complete. The pigs wear clothes. They host the human farmers for dinner. And Napoleon makes a toast, announcing that the farm is reverting to its original name, the Manor Farm.
And that final image. The other animals looking through the window as the pigs and men play cards. An argument breaks out, and they look from pig to man and man to pig.
But already it was impossible to say which was which.
It's just a perfect circular illustration of how a revolution devours itself. How ideals of equality can be stripped away one word at a time through the control of information and the constant strategic use of fear.
And the details make it so personal. The way they change the commandments, the way they sell Boxer. It makes this huge political allegory feel like a direct personal betrayal.
It does. And despite everything, the animals still believed they were free. They were working for themselves, so they weren't like other animals.
Which leaves you with a really troubling question to think about. How long can the memory of an ideal, that beautiful song, Beasts of England, actually protect you from the tyranny that's happening right in front of your eyes? When a gun is fired to celebrate a victory that destroyed everything you built, what does victory even mean anymore?